How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Horseshoe Huddle film series here on the Horseshoe Huddle YouTube channel. I'm your host, Zach Hicks. You guys can find my work over again on horseshoehuddle.com with Locked On Colts as well. And you can follow me on social media at Zach Hicks2, Z-A-C-H. Hicks2. You guys are probably really familiar with me over there. Now I'm bringing you guys this video breakdown series here on the YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about Anthony Richardson, his debut start against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to be diving into his 3 best throws from the day. Obviously, I'd love to go into detail with every single throw that he made in this one, every single decision he made, and really get to the meat and bones of it, but I don't really have the time for all that. We're not going to go into a 2-hour video here, so we're going to keep it to 3 plays. Break down these 3 plays, and knowing me, we're going to be, able to stretch this out into a 20-minute video for y'all. But these were his 3 best moments, 3 best throws from the game. Overall, I think it was a really solid debut for the young quarterback, completing nearly 65% of his passes, over 200 yards passing, a touchdown, as well as adding 40 yards on the ground and a score as well. So promising debut start, and these 3 throws right here, I think were high-level moments, high-level plays from the young passer that you really want to see. So getting into play number 1, this is one of my favorites. You guys know from my work over at horseshoehuddle.com that I'm a huge fan of empty personnel sets. I love empty personnel. I love what it can do for a young quarterback, especially with a young mobile quarterback like an Anthony Richardson, where you have that run option that could be mixed in there a little bit as well. But if you guys are not familiar with all the series I've done over at horseshoehuddle.com with empty personnel sets, please go over there and read them back. I did a lot of work with them over the summer. But just for like a quick rundown, empty personnel is like truth serum for a defense. And by saying that, I mean that the offense is essentially showing their hand pre-snap, so a defense has to show their hand as well. So the offense is basically saying that, hey, we're going to be doing some kind of quick hitter. We're getting all of our pass catchers out of the backfield. We're not going to have an extra back end to protect. We're not going to have a tight end in to protect. Maybe you could get a little chip here from this tight end, but for the most part, an offense is showing their hand, which makes the defense show their hand as well. Now, that is huge for a young quarterback because every read is so muddied for a young passer. When you're going from the college game to the NFL game, there's just so much less space in the passing game. So going to an empty personnel set just unmuddies those reads for them, helps them identify matchups prior to the snap and see where they want to attack. And you can see here on this first clip, this is exactly what happens. The Jaguars, they're going to be blitzing on this play. And if you know football at all, if you're someone who plays in the NFL, sorry, I don't mean that to sound derogatory. If you're someone who plays in the NFL, you're going to see that this is a blitz coming from the Jaguars. This linebacker is not really shading this receiver. He's inching in, he's coming down for the blitz, and this safety is rolling down to take this man in man-to-man coverage. So you're going to have Josh Downs, your quick win wide receiver on the choice route, against this down safety. That is exactly what you want from your matchup. You want this matchup right here, especially where the blitz is coming down with this linebacker crashing inside. But to go into this play overall, again, this is empty personnel. You're going to have quick hitters with empty personnel. To the right, you have Josh Downs on this choice route. So again, depending on the leverage of the defender, he's going to either break outside or break in. You're going to have the clear outs on the outside. And then on the left side, back to the strong side, you're going to have a little bit of a high-low action with the slot receiver, Michael Pittman Jr., running the deeper dig. And then tight end, I think this is Drew Ogletree running a little hook route here. This is something that, this left side here, you'd really want to hit that if you had more time in the pocket. But because the blitz is coming, especially because the blitz is coming from Josh Downs' side, this is really want to target this. You want to target that isolated matchup with your quick win wide receiver versus that down safety. So we're going to get into this play a little bit. Again, Downs is the ideal matchup, and that's exactly where Richardson wants to go with the ball. And I think he makes a phenomenal throw here over the middle of the field. So getting into the play, again, Downs versus an off safety coming down into the box. That is exactly what you want. And this all-out blitz is coming. It's coming fast. This guy's pulling out a little bit. But for the most part, this blitz is coming downhill. It's coming fast. And Richardson makes a phenomenal throw to his player. Really good chemistry, really good arm action. Releases this ball with just really good velocity over the middle of the field as well. And in the face of pressure, delivers just a high-level throw over the middle of the field. This is exactly what you want to see. Great read, great throw, and gets that ball out right behind the blitz, exactly where you want that ball to go. And then obviously, again, I know this is all about Anthony Richardson, but this route by Josh Downs is why you draft him in round 3. He's going to just freeze this defender with his footwork, just constantly chopping those feet, flashing to the outside a little bit before breaking in. And that's a really good safety, too, he's beating. That's Andre Sisco, but at the end of the day, you're trusting your slot receiver to win this matchup. And this is why a Josh Downs type of player is so big in empty personnel sets, because he has the ability to do this, to be that quick win wide receiver option for Richardson over the middle of the field. And Richardson, again, this is not taken away from Richardson at all, but this is a pass that you want to see an NFL quarterback make. Right here, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see this ball coming out hot behind the blitz. Richardson makes that throw. That is an NFL quarterback type of throw. It's an NFL wide receiver type of route by Josh Downs, and what you get is a big chunk play over the middle of the field. I really wish the Colts would have done more empty personnel in this game just to kind of get that ball out in rhythm, but it is something that Richardson didn't do too much at Florida, so I understand the Colts kind of slow playing it a little bit there. But high-level play from both rookies here. Love that rookie connection, and it was what led the Colts to their first points of the day. So really, really good connection here. And I love the staying in there and taking that hit by Richardson. You're going to take some hits in the NFL, especially when there's going to be free blitzes like this and missed protection reads. This is a really, really strong throw by Richardson behind the blitz for the big gain. So I think this was his best play of the game. Again, it was just on a quick little slant route, but I just love this type of throw over the middle of the field by Anthony Richardson. Now, this next one is such a fun play design. I've seen some people describe it as like wonky or whatever. This is a really cool play design by Shane Steichen, and I just love the precision that Anthony Richardson has on this middle of the field throw. Again, looking at that middle of the field, he's attacking these linebackers over the middle, making some high-level throws. He didn't do it on every single occasion that we saw in this game, but the couple moments that he did, it's like, okay, this is an NFL quarterback. This is a legit NFL quarterback and a guy who, the Colts could develop to be one of the next top passers in the league. So this play is really fun. You got the little pistol wishbone action. You got Josh Downs here on one side, and I believe this is Marley Cox on the other side. Again, you got the little pistol. You're going to get a little play action from the Colts. And you got a very Shanahanian or Shanahan-esque route combination over the top. It's not necessarily a Yankee call, but it's kind of similar. You're building the middle of the field, attacking the linebackers over the middle of the field off of play action. Now, Shanahan doesn't really whip out the pistol too much, from my understanding. I haven't watched too much of Kyle Shanahan recently, but from my understanding, he doesn't whip it out too much. Maybe back in the Robert Griffin III days, they did a lot of this. But this is a really fun route combination. You're going to have Alec Pierce running a big deep over to take away that deep safety, and that's going to open up the middle of the field here to Michael Pittman Jr. after he beats his corner off the line. So I really like this route combination. Really like all the motion and muddiness here coming in the backfield. We're going to talk about it as it kind of comes out here. So what we're going to see here is Josh Downs goes into motion, which is just going to create a ton of confusion here at the second level, from the safeties to the linebackers to the slot corner. They're going to be running around before the snap. And then just to add more confusion to the mix, you're going to get the play fake, and then you're going to be pulling that tight end around as well, and that's going to get these guys reading up and coming downhill. Now, again, they don't fully commit on the run game, because obviously all these linemen here are pass blocking. So again, this is not an RPO. This is play action because these linemen are all pass blocking. This is a design play action shot. But it does freeze them just enough, and it creates that opening. Now you have these linebackers keeping their eyes on Mo Alley Cox. You got them keeping their eyes on Josh Downs. You got them still watching the running back for a leak out, and that's creating space in this zone here behind all of these players that are keeping their eyes forward. So Richardson sees that, and he's already getting that feet set. He's getting the feet set. He's trusting his number one wide receiver from this position right here to win over the middle. And that's exactly what Michael Pittman Jr. does. He steps on the toes of the corner, breaks inside, creates that separation, and now you have that space where Richardson can rip it over the middle behind these linebackers that are still kind of reeling from all that motion and muddiness in the backfield. So Richardson's able to rip that right through that space, right to Michael Pittman Jr., get a little bit of yards after catch, nice little 16-yard gain over the middle. Obviously, this could be a little bit more out in front here, but they're still developing the chemistry. It's still early in the season. And honestly, at the end of the day, if this protects that ball from being knocked down by this linebacker, I'm fine with it being a little bit behind. This is a really good read by Richardson. I like the aggressiveness to attack in between the zones of the linebackers and get that ball out quickly. Just the arm speed on this throw as well. You just love to see it from him. I mean, this ball comes out. I mean, that's a fastball right there. We talk about fastball throwers and players who can add some touch and stuff like that, and where Richardson needs to get better with adding some touch. But this is where the advantage of the fastball comes in. These quick hitters, play action, RPO type stuff. This is an RPO. I'm not trying to say this is RPO, but like play action stuff over the middle. You want to see that fastball come into play, and where the arm talent and velocity really is a big factor. So he's able to rip this over the middle. Pittman Jr. makes a great catch, and the Colts get a productive gain here, which I believe that was right before their second touchdown of the day as well. So another drive that is building off of those big plays and getting touchdowns. The final throw we're going to break down is another throw over the middle of the field. Again, a second level throw. There weren't too many of these second level throws in game one. We want to see a little bit more of them here in game two against the Houston Texans. But when he did have these couple second level throws like this, you were really seeing some high level things from the young quarterback. So on this one, we don't have play action, unlike the other ones, which we had either play action or we had empty to kind of unmuddy those reads a little bit for him. Here we have a fairly simple triangle read over the middle of the field. Now, if you guys don't know what a triangle read is, it's basically a half field type of throw where you're going to have three routes that form kind of a triangle, either over the middle of the field, over to one side of the field, whatever it is. And the main thing you're trying to do with these triangle reads is dictate those zone defenders to making a choice. They either have to come back and stay in their depth, which allows for the underneath throw, or they're going to come up and have their eyes on the underneath throw, which just creates that window at the second level. Now, consistently in this game, Richardson was attacking more of the underneath stuff, but this was one of those throws where he actually did rip it to the second level. And again, just that velocity on his throws, the timing on his throws, the fluidity in his movements, it's just all high-level quarterback stuff. And if we can see this just more consistently going forward, then I really think the Colts have something in this young quarterback. So here again, we're going to have that triangle read. We're going to have Pittman Jr. running a little comeback to the outside. Funk is going to be leaking out of the backfield to kind of get those short options. And then Kylan Granson's going to be working the deeper dig right behind the linebackers. And what you see with the linebackers is they don't really get their required depth. They kind of have their eyes in the backfield, have their eyes on Jake Funk because Richardson's been pulling it short all day. And you just love the anticipation on this throw too. Richardson is already getting rid of this ball as Granson's coming out of his break, throws a little behind him to protect him from that hit from the safety. Just another really good throw. Just another one you wanted to see a little bit more of in this game. You wanted to see more of this attacking the second level rather than attacking the first level of the defense. But when he did attack this second level, you could see the flashes of a high-level play. Like, this is a really nice throw. Layers it over the middle of the field, and Kylan Granson's able to haul it in behind the linebackers for a productive gain. The Colts didn't have a ton of these type of gains on the day, like these 10-plus yard gains, but when they did, it usually came from the arm angle, the arm speed, the velocity that Anthony Richardson was able to display. So this is a high-level throw. This is an NFL quarterback type of throw. And again, this is a quarterback that was lambasted throughout the whole draft process for not having the accuracy to play right away, for not having the ability to read a defense to play right away, for not having just the anticipation to play right away. Now, if you're watching a play like this is a triangle read. This is what all pocket passers are making in the NFL, from your Pat Mahomes to your statuesque quarterbacks like your Matt Ryans to your mobile guys like Lamar Jacksons and Josh Allens. This is what you're being asked to do in the pocket. And Richardson, despite being so raw and so inaccurate, is able to read this window, throw it with anticipation, rip it over the middle with great arm speed, and protect his receiver from that safety coming downhill for a productive game. The biggest thing I came away from in this first game with Anthony Richardson is building that confidence. Because in this first one, he was a little skittish at times, a little skittish in the pocket, a little skittish ripping it down the field. And obviously we did see the one mistake ripping it down the field where he threw the sail route and it was picked off. But for the most part, when he did rip it down the field, you saw the good flash and you saw the good moments. You just want to see a little bit more confidence from him on these types of throws because he has the ability. And honestly, in game one, he showed that he has, more than just the ability. He has the willingness to do this. He has the talent to do it right away. It's not just when he figures it out, it's okay, he's got to figure it out. Just bring that confidence to each and every game. So the couple flashes we saw in week one of throws like this, again, a triangle read over the middle of the field, ripping it between all these zone defenders and protecting your wideout or your pass catcher. It's an NFL throw. It's an NFL throw from day one. So yes, Anthony Richardson's raw. Yes, Anthony Richardson needs time to become the franchise quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. But everything we saw in week one from him was very, very, very promising. He appears to be ahead of schedule from where we expected. The accuracy really wasn't that big of an issue. There were some misses here and there, but it wasn't that big of an issue. And we saw some high-level flashes, like this throw an empty personnel to Josh Downs. Really great arm action, really great velocity, and a really, really great pre-snap read to throw it behind the blitz. That is some NFL quarterback stuff right there, and that's what you want to see from your guy. Another one here on this in-breaking route to Michael Pittman Jr. Great velocity, great job layering it between the zone defenders over the middle of the field, and that is an NFL quarterback throw. And then you have here, again, this triangle read to Kylan Granson. It's an NFL quarterback throw. For everyone who thinks this is a raw quarterback who's not ready to play in the NFL, he showed this past Sunday that he's ready to make some high-level throws and do some NFL quarterback things. So I think this was a great start for Anthony Richardson. Hopefully he can keep building on it going forward and really put together some strong performances down the stretch this year. But that's all I have for today, guys. Again, thank you for joining me here on the Horseshoe Huddle Film Room on Horseshoe Huddle's YouTube channel. Again, I am your host, Zach Hicks. You can follow me over on social medias, over on Twitter or X, or whatever the heck it's called, at ZachHicks2. Also find my work with Locked On Colts, and again, over at horseshoehuddle.com. We'll be back next week to continually talk about Anthony Richardson and hopefully talking about him building off of this great debut against the Jacksonville Jaguars.